If a brand has a certain color, then that will change how I perceive everything that the brand is related to. If you know that you want to get a product and you have to choose between different brands, the color the brands choose is one of the major factor for you to decide for either of the brands. So this is big, right? And that's ever more relevant because many objects nowadays, quality-wise, they are getting closer and closer to each other. Even the low end, and if you don't pay a premium price, all the products of the low end are more or less similar. So the color is really a strong differentiator between the ones that perform similarly. But also in the premium end, like comparing all different premium end products is still relatively close. So the color is still a clear determinant for you as a person, as an end user, as a buyer and consumer to make your decision about which product to go with. So that's a huge impact color has. Different industries, different domains, different segments have different roles for colors to take on and rely more heavily on color or not to basically take their market share. So if you want to do a rebranding and you want to stand out, you can more easily deviate from the existing norms and therefore also stand out a lot. But also this can be a disadvantage or a downside. If you fail to meet the expectation that users have to a certain product category, then they will not associate your product with that category or will not ascribe the same qualities to your product because it deviates too much from their expectations. You have to also think in terms of marketing for a company that decides to make the switch from one color to another. It's a huge risk also. The people love what they are used to, what they're accustomed to, and they are afraid of big new changes. Not necessarily afraid, but people like what they know. What does consistency in color say? It does stand for a certain clarity in communication, reliability, but also security and confidence, right? That we don't have to change every season again. That's what we are. That's our identity. That's what we stand for. So it does implicitly already come with some attributes that we potentially consider when talking about branding and colors.